Director, Army, Ministry of Defense, Commander, Training and Doctrine, Principal Staff Officers from Defense and Army Headquarters, Commanders of various operational theaters.
Hello viewer, a very warm welcome to the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority, broadcasting live from the Nigerian Army shooting range, Jaji Kaduna. This is the firepower demonstration of the Nigerian Army. This is a moment of pride in showcasing the unyielding and unconquerable spirit of the gallant Nigerian Army. This is indeed the climax of both the Chief of Army Staff Conference as well as the Combat Arms Training Week, both of which hosted simultaneously here in Kaduna. Welcome to this live event.
Of the Chief of Army Staff, I wish to warmly welcome you to Jaji Military Range, venue for the last slated activities or programs heralding the first quarter Chief of Army Staff Conference and Combat Arms Training Week 2019. The activities line up are basically to showcase the performance and functions so far achieved by the Nigerian Army through static display and tour of stand and firepower demonstration, which will also include Nigerian Army Women Corps demonstration. I cannot warmly welcome you enough. For this purpose, I wish to humbly request the Commander Infantry to please officially welcome our distinguished guest and thereafter kickstart the program of the day. May I invite Major General S.O. Olabanji to please make his welcome remarks. The Commander Infantry Corps.
No, leave it. Leave it. The governor is back. So,
The event today is specially demonstration of the real war situation, talking about the formation of troops into section, to platoon, to company, to battalion, and eventual engagement of open and hidden enemy in full-blown hostility. We are going to be treated to a real war situation at this demonstration. That's the more reason why officers of the Army caution here that viewer discretion is highly advised. Jaji is the most acclaimed home of the Nigerian Army Infantry Corps. They are out in their number and high in spirit to demonstrate their popular logo, yield to nothing. Also fully on ground for this demonstration is the Nigerian Army Armor Corps Bauchi. The Bauchi Armor Corps is well represented with sophisticated military hardware that truly represent the unyielding force and spirit of the Nigerian Army.
Rufai, Executive Governor of Kaduna State, they said it's live. They are covering it. Okay. We'll suspend it.
Basically, two components are involved in this demonstration. The infantry and the core support group. The infantry are the major combatant group of the Nigerian army. We should equally see demonstration by the support group talking about the APC, the war tanks, and the like that are going to give support to the troops on ground.
The special guest of honor is Excellency Nasir El-Rufai, Executive Governor of Kaduna State, ably represented by the Deputy Governor, His Excellency Architect Barnabas, the Chief of Army Staff, senior officers. Let me rest on already established protocol. I heartily welcome you to the closing ceremony of the first quarter Chief of Army Staff Conference and the Combat Arms Training Week 2019. The event we are about to witness this morning is the firepower demonstration, which will climax the activities lined up for the training week. The event started on the 23rd of April with the infantry conference, which dovetailed into the Chief of Army Staff Conference proper. We also witnessed a series of commissioning of projects here at Jaji Military Cantonment and Chindit Barracks in Zaria. Also, there was a medical outreach for the people of Berinyaro as part of our corporate social responsibility. The purpose of the firepower demonstration this morning is actually to show the synergy between the infantry and the armor corps, being the maneuver arms of the Nigerian Army. It will also include display of some equipment of the Nigerian Army in the Nigerian Army inventory. I really want to thank everybody for the time, particularly all our senior officers invited that have been with us from Monday up to now, and also our special guests of honor who, despite the tight schedule, still have time to come and witness the closing ceremony of the Chief of Army Staff Conference. Thanks for coming, and God bless you.
Our special guest of honor, very reverend invited guest, permit me to also quickly acquaint you with the amended program. In just a moment, we proceed for static display and tour of stands. There are officers that I mark to give brief and also describe the roles and functions of the equipment. Thereafter, Nigerian Women Corps demonstration will come up. Also, we are expecting Lieutenant J. Achinda to take over that demonstration. It will immediately be followed by firepower demonstrations, where we have Captain A.I. Olaruwaju, Captain S.O. Omang, that will also brief and describe the roles of those equipment. We immediately coming back, we have the honor of the Chief of Army Staff and the Chief Host to make his remarks before we close it with the remarks by the special guest of honor. On this note, we quickly go to the next event on the program, which is static display and tour of stand. I respectfully request the Commander Infantry Corps to please lead the Chief of Army Staff, the special guest of honor, and other senior officers to tour the stands. The Commander Amoko, sir. The Commander Infantry Corps. The Commander Amoko will also join him. Yes. I'm in love with armor. It's true, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
The special guest of honor, the Deputy Governor of Kaduna State, and the Chief Horse, the Chief of Army Staff, accompanied by officers and men of the Nigerian Army, are now invited for the inspection of spectacular heritage of the Nigerian Army. There are a lot of them on display that are going to demonstrate the capacity of the Nigerian Army, especially the vehicle manufacturing and servicing company, where we already have on display for inspection a number of APC, talking about armor personnel carrier, that have been manufactured or rehabilitated by the vehicle manufacturing company of the Nigerian Army, a very vital component of the Nigerian Army that have of recent seen a lot of reinvigoration under the watch of Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, the Chief of Army Staff, who has injected a lot of innovations and improvement in the overall activities and affairs of the Nigerian Army. We are moving towards the stands where vital military hardware are on display, where the special guest of honor and the Chief of Army Staff are going to be briefed on these various hardwares. We can see here an ammo tank, a very vital war component of the Nigerian Army. This is indeed a pride of the Nigerian Army that showcases the real firepower the Nigerian Army possesses. These are some of the hardware that are deployed to the war front that even sighting them scares the enemy. I'm talking about these war tanks. The Nigerian Army is indeed in possession of many of them and is optimally utilizing them at many war fronts, especially talking about the hostilities that are going on in many parts of the country, prominent among which fighting the Boko Haram insurgency. These military hardware are indeed very handy in assisting the Nigerian Army. This particular equipment on display is referred to as Grand Observator 12. It's a radar equipment that is used in tracking pedestrians, light and heavy vehicles, as well as drones. This demonstrates its importance in modern warfare, where the enemy needs to be immediately tracked and brought under control. There are equally what they refer to as the thermal images that are used in detecting both open and hidden objects. Any object that can generate heat can be detected by this thermal imager. According to the information we received from the Nigerian Army, these are some of the latest in their fold. Some of them are delivered this 2019. There are equally motor or high trajectory firing equipment the Nigerian Army use in fighting enemies. This is a display of APC that was destroyed but later rehabilitated by the vehicle manufacturing company of the Nigerian Army, which has at the moment taken a center stage in enhancing the capacity of the Nigerian Army in enhancing the capacity of the Nigerian Army in terms of its reliability on internal resources to be able to provide it basic war equipment. These are equally some of the hardware locally manufactured by the Nigerian Army under the watch of Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai, the current action-packed Chief of Army Staff. Its demonstration of some of these equipment and utilities, war-oriented facilities of the Nigerian Army, many of them newly delivered, many of them manufactured internally by the Nigerian Army Vehicle Manufacturing Company. There are equally the artillery tanks on display. These are some of the high-profile demonstrations of the fire force of the Nigerian Army. These are binoculars that are used for detecting and tracking of enemies, especially at the war front. Ground Observer 2, as earlier announced, they are used for tracking enemies, both pedestrians, heavy and light duty vehicles. They are very vital components of war that are being optimally utilized at the moment by the Nigerian Army. These are binoculars used for long-range detection of enemy and preparing the ground to nip in the bud any hostility that may come the way of the Nigerian Army. These are demonstrations of some of the key equipment the Nigerian Army uses, even currently at many war fronts that the Nigerian Army is involved in trying to ensure the peace and territorial integrity of Nigeria. The Nigerian Army, under the watch of Lieutenant General Yusuf Tukur Buratai, is indeed undergoing a lot of transformation in terms of delivery of very important military hardware that are needed in terms of rehabilitation and expansion of various military formations, in terms of welfare of the Nigerian Army generally. It is indeed a record that before his ascension to the throne as the Chief of Army Staff, the challenges the Nigerian Army is facing appear to be overwhelming the Nigerian Army. That has since changed, especially with the recovery of certain territories that were hitherto under the occupation of the enemy. The challenges have not been totally surmounted, but remarkable progress and achievements have been recorded to the glory of the Nigerian Army, to the glory of the Nigerian nation. These are high-profile war equipment on display for the inspection of the special guest of honor and other invited guests, as this firepower demonstration by the Nigerian Army, which is indeed a moment of pride for every soldier. This is a moment of rising the spirit of the Nigerian Army. It's a moment for reawakening to the challenges and the obligation of ensuring the sanctity of Nigeria as a single indivisible entity. The firepower demonstration is a very important ritual to the Nigerian Army. It is a moment where the entire world is being reassured that the Nigerian Army is indeed fully grounded and up to the task of its obligations of ensuring the sanctity of Nigeria as a nation, the effectiveness of its officers and men, the unyielding and unconquerable spirit of the Nigerian Army. These are part of the essence why this event is being convened in order to show to the Nigerian nation and the entire world what the Nigerian Army truly stands for in terms of facing its obligation of neutralizing the enemy, of guaranteeing the peace and stability of Nigeria, of taking the Nigerian military to the next level of efficiency, multiplier effect of efficiency. That is what is being demonstrated under the watch of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai. He has some 3 days back declared open the quarterly Chief of Army Staff Conference, where the Army are assembled, where they are being reawakened, where they are being further tutored on basic and newest technologies and techniques of combating the enemy at the war front. And the demonstration we are witnessing, an event that will subsequently come in the course of this firepower demonstration, we are going to be treated to a real war situation where we'll be seeing how the Nigerian Army organized itself, formed itself into section, troops, platoon, battalion, and how they deploy arms and ammunition and effectively utilize them in combating the enemy. This is the firepower demonstration by the Nigerian Army taking place right now at the Nigerian Army firing range at Jaji, Kaduna State, which is equally the climax of a week-long event talking about the Chief of Army Staff Conference and the Combat Arm Training Week, where specifically participants are drawn from the Nigerian Army Infantry Corps, domicile here in Jaji, Kaduna, and the Nigerian Armored Corps with its headquarters in Bauchi, which has equally deployed serious military combatant hardware that are going to be put on display. Still at the demonstration stand, war equipment on display, some of them newly delivered, some of them manufactured by the Nigerian Army Vehicle Manufacturing Company. Some of them are all equipment that have remained relevant. Some of them are newly acquired and delivered. Under the watch of Lieutenant General Yusuf Tukur Buratai, there is a new and improved perception of the Nigerian Army by the international community. The hitherto embargo of training and supply of equipment and facilities to the Nigerian Army by especially the US and the Western world have been lifted. This makes it possible for the Nigerian Army to access some of the newest global technologies of combating the enemy. The Army has been able to stand on its feet in terms of maintenance and servicing of some of its very expensive, highly efficient war equipment, some of them here on demonstration. These are some of the guarantees the Nigerian Army has to show to assure the Nigerian populace of its renewed commitment and unyielding spirit in ensuring the sanctity of security of the Nigerian populace anywhere around and across the Nigerian nation. In addition to peacekeeping support that the Nigerian Army is involved across the globe, across the universe. Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai, the Chief of Army Staff, inspecting some of these military hardware at display at this firepower demonstration, a very important ritual observed by the Nigerian Army. This year's event, as earlier announced, is taking place at the Army shooting range at Jaji, Kaduna, while the quarterly Chief of Army Staff Conference and the Combat Arm Training Week have been simultaneously hosted here in Kaduna under the directive of the Chief of Army Staff. These are general purpose machine guns, some of the highly effective weapons used by the Nigerian Army in all its war and peace operations within and without Nigeria. These are some of the details on AK-47, one of the popular rifles used by the armed forces not only in Nigeria but across the globe. It's a weapon invented so many decades ago that has remained relevant in peacekeeping operations all over the world. 94 Enaga grenade, originated from Britain, is a powerful and effective anti-tank grenade. The Nigerian Army is in possession of these anti-tanks that are used effectively to neutralize and destroy tanks and other heavy-duty equipment of the enemy whenever the Nigerian Army engage such enemies in war hostilities. These are some of the demonstrations that go a long way to reassure Nigerians of the capacity and efficiency of the Nigerian Army in meeting the routine and emerging security challenges across Nigeria. Nigerian Army war hardwares, some acquired from China, some across from the West, some from the US, some from Russia. And the good thing about this, the personnel of the Nigerian Army are well groomed and highly efficient in the management and utilization of these military hardware under their operations. Not only do they manage and utilize them with the efficiency being injected in the Nigerian Army Vehicle Manufacturing Company, they have now come a long way in terms of their assertiveness in their ability to maintain, to rehabilitate, to repair, and to even manufacture brand new military hardware, as can be seen here on demonstration. Firepower demonstration by the Nigerian Army taking place right here at the shooting range of the Nigerian Army located at Jaji, Kaduna State. Jaji is the acclaimed home of the military, of the infantry. The infantry are considered the backbone of war operations. The special guest of honor, the governor of Kaduna State, respectfully represented at this occasion by the Deputy Governor, Mr. Barnabas Bala, at the firepower demonstration, a very important ritual of the Nigerian Army. These are specifications of various military war hardwares under the possession of the Nigerian Army that are used for assorted peace missions, peacekeeping operations, the fight against insurgency. And talking about the fight against insurgency, the Nigerian Army, under the watch of General Buratai, is fully and actively engaged in so many operations across the length and breadth of the Nigerian nation. Under his watch, A lot of operations with various special names have come on the stream that have gone a long way to enhance the conquering spirit of the Nigerian army in terms of facing their obligations of neutralizing and destroying the enemy. A lot of achievements have been recorded which have by far outweighed the challenges that are still ongoing in terms of these operations in many fronts in the country. Just 3 days back, the Chief of Army Staff has reassured the officers and men of the Nigerian Army of the renewed and unrelenting commitment of the Nigerian government to meet the ever-growing challenges, demands, and expectations of the Nigerian Army and the Nigerian Armed Forces generally in terms of meeting their basic obligations. He has assured them while declaring open the Chief of Army Staff Conference of his commitment and that of government to ensure maximum supplies, maximum deliveries, to ensure meeting of with basic expectations for the execution of their operations, taking into consideration equally the challenges of their welfare, which he says the government under President Muhammadu Buhari is up and doing and would not relent until the Nigerian Army and the Nigerian Armed Forces generally are well groomed and well grounded and fully equipped to overcome the ever-growing challenges of national security. The Army, going by the testimonies of these events, talking about the Chief of Army Staff Quarterly Conference, the Combat Arm Training Week, and this firepower demonstration, are fully challenged and are in high spirit to face the challenges of ensuring the sanctity of the security of Nigeria. This equipment on display, this particular one, which they refer to as Ground Observator 12, is one of the newest under the fall of the Nigerian Army, delivered this 2019, and is a rather equipment that is used for tracking both pedestrians, light and heavy duty vehicles, as well as drones. These assist in no small measure towards the execution of the mandate of the Nigerian Army in real war situation. War and success in war situation is the focus of this fire demonstration, and equally the Chief of Army Staff Conference and the Combat Arm Training Week. They are specifically designed to keep officers and men of the Nigerian Army fully on the alert, fully equipped, fully in the know of what is expected of them and how best to respond to the growing challenges of national security. And true to testimony, the Nigerian Army has been highly and efficiently responsive to its ever-growing challenges of ensuring the territorial and national integrity of Nigeria through their various security and peace operations. Talking about the fight against insurgency, talking about the fight against abduction, talking about the fight against banditry, talking about so many other operations across the length and breadth of Nigeria.
Mic 1, 2, 3. Just the mic.
Demonstration in progress. troops of the Nigerian army a real war regalia, highly charged, highly motivated,
Testing the mic.
highly reassured, and highly ready for the challenge of national security. Special guest of honor at this occasion, the Deputy Governor of Kaduna State, Barnabas Bala, under the guide of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai, on inspection of some of the key components of war under the possession of the Nigerian army, which are put on demonstration, a demonstration that is designed for reassurance, for confidence building that the Nigerian army is fully grounded, fully equipped, fully motivated, and fully poised for the challenge of guaranteeing the sanctity of lives and property of entire Nigerians wherever they are within the country. And not only are these peace operations highly successful within the nation, the Nigerian army is equally involved in many global peace operations. It is a tradition that the Nigerian army has been able to uphold and consolidate over the years. Some details about some of these war hardwares, their efficiency, their make, their source of origin, their usefulness, as they have been demonstrated here at the Jaji firing range of the Nigerian army, the home of the infantry corps. Some of these hardwares, especially the war tanks, the APCs, were deployed from the Nigerian Armored Corps in Bauchi, which is the headquarters of the Nigerian Armored Corps. Their personnel are equally very much on ground and fully ready for a very efficient demonstration that will soon follow this demonstration. Another important component of this demonstration to expect in due course is the participation of the women wing of the Nigerian army, which has equally seen very radical transformation under the watch of Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai. The situation at the moment is the women army are no longer limited to clerical office works. They are now full-blown combatants that have great role to play in combating the enemy in real war situation. We are going to see a demonstration of the war staff of the women wing of the Nigerian army that has been enhanced and greatly transformed to meet the challenges of war in this 21st century. They have a demonstration to make which will go a long way to exemplify and concretize our understanding of what the Nigerian woman soldier stands for under the prevailing challenges of national security in Nigeria. This is part of this demonstration codenamed Firepower Demonstration by the Nigerian Army, taking place at the moment at the firing range in Jaji, Kaduna State. The Nigerian Army, the pride of the nation's security. 36 hand grenade with its origin from Brazil, highly explosive, and its anti-personnel grenade. It is a platoon integral weapon used by the soldiers in neutralizing and destroying the enemy. This is indeed a very dangerous weapon that has high efficiency of enemy destruction. These are some of the war equipment that have been deployed by the Nigerian army to subdue and destroy the enemy. The arrangement, according to officers of the army, is in real war situation. Normally, the infantry and the armor corps are involved. The armor set the track with their explosive power to subdue the enemy, while the infantry troop follow with the mop-up, clearance and arrest operations. Through this means, the Nigerian army, especially of recent, has been able to record remarkable successes in combating the enemy that are confronting Nigeria at various fronts. Talking about the insurgency, especially in the northeast region of Nigeria. Talking of the high-profile banditry and abduction that has become a growing challenge in the northwestern part of Nigeria, and indeed other challenges across the hinterlands. The Nigerian army has repeatedly assured Nigerians of an unrelenting commitment to meet these challenges. The Chief of Army Staff, General Buratai, has repeatedly reassured the army and Nigerians generally of the dogged determination of the Nigerian government to meet the requirements of the Nigerian army and the armed forces generally, so that they will be fully poised, fully equipped, and well-grounded to face the challenges of national security. This is what we are seeing the demonstration of at this moment. High caliber military hardware with various specifications,
within
which
80
assures
seconds, somebody actually there by showing a shoulder. Meaning that if I'm fighting a build-up area and an opponent is actually coming into a place, an enemy, I will still within distance know that this person is there. So the last target classification I'd say this thing can do is that you can actually incorporate this and this. So if I'm actually seeing a target and I'm not happy with the target, I think it's a rabbit, it's a cow, I will just click on camera. This equipment will send the radar signal and receive it on camera and actually show you that this is what it is. So the two remaining equipment we have are just binoculars, the Yukon binoculars and the Bracer binoculars. They are just for magnification. So within that short range, if I actually don't want to use the Sophie, or I'm actually going for confirmation Reiki for the Reiki group, I can actually use this binocular. This has a range up to 100 meters. It means I can actually zoom in up to 100 meters to see up to 15 kilometers. And this has up to 75 kilometers. Can see up to 7 kilometers. So another thing I didn't say about this equipment is that, as you can see the difference between this equipment can be man-packed. It means that two soldiers can actually carry it and comfortably still control their personal weapons. Easy to set up. The equipment, it has the tripod and the top. So you can see the tripod compartment is already in here and the antenna compartment is here. So you are only fixing the tripod into the antenna compartment into the tripod and you are set. And then you have the PNU system where you are going to see the target. Thank you very much, sir.
The special guest of honor, sir, the Chief of Army Staff, senior officers, gentlemen. Sir, welcome to Nigerian Army Vehicle Manufacturing Company stand. It was 3 months and 1 day today, 26th of January precisely, you launch this company into action. Sir, this is the task you gave us. That there's need for a 360-degree deviation from over-reliance on imported machineries for war. That we should go ahead and research on how Nigerian Army would take our destiny into our hands. Sir, pregnancy lasts for 9 months. So this is our 3rd month. We'll deliver in 6 months' time from now. But sir, we have done something that I want you to see. Sir, I have my team of consultants and officers who just have 10 minutes here. But what you're going to see will be more than 10 minutes we're going to spend with you, sir. So I call on Engineer Shedrack, our consultant, to start the first brief with the vehicles you asked us to produce.
Good day, sirs. All protocols duly observed. Sir, I would like to
Excuse me, sir.
This is a work in progress now, sir. So this is the LIV, the list of the 3 vehicles we discussed about. So as it is now, we are focusing on mobility, protection, firepower, and battlefield awareness, which is essential to win a modern battle. You see from the vehicle is designed to have a V-hull, and it can be able to withstand mines of to 12 kilograms. You can see the high ground clearance, and then the vehicle wheelbase, which is very large. That is, the vehicle is well balanced. Now this vehicle also has a whole lot of features here. We have a lot of surveillance systems here, communication gadgets and all that. And then the vehicle is also built for modularity, that you have one vehicle, but it can also serve up to 5 different purposes. You can change the back, it becomes a regular pickup truck, but with military grade mine resistance and all the protections that you will need. You can also turn it into an ambulance. You can also turn it into a full troop carrier that you can carry extra 6 soldiers behind. So the total capacity will now be 12 soldiers instead of the 8 that is here. We also have the conversion guns are behind. Then the turret, this is a manual turret. We also have a remote weapon station. But the manual turret here gives the gunner complete protection from enemy fire. One of the things you will find out when you're going down a slope, you find that the person who's above you can see you and then got and all that. So this it gives the gunner total protection. You can see from 4 angles, and it rotates 360 degrees. Some of the gadgets that were supposed to be mounted on this vehicle is put on the other side of the vehicle. When we get there, we'll show you. Yes, sir.
So we are using the byproducts of what we are using, the metals, to produce more side effect for the Nigerian Army. So this is the ballistic vest was produced, and Major Adisa will give details. Just very briefly, please.
Sir, you are welcome to this stand. I am Major J.K. Adisa. These are the ballistic vests produced locally by Nigerian Army Vehicle Manufacturing Company. They have been designed to provide protection for our troops. These ones before you are of 5 millimeters thickness. However, the Chief of Army Staff has directed that we reduce it up to 3 to 4 millimeters so that to reduce the weight. We have subjected them to series of tests. This is the foreign one. We fired at point blank shot, and you can see the effect. If you check the reverse side, there's a bulging out, which means when series of shots pass through the same place, it will burst. Now, this is the one we produced locally. Point blank shot, sir. This is the result. No bulge behind. Okay. It's almost the same. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so before the end of today's display, we are also going to test fire this same ballistic vest on a dummy stand. That is it. Then we also have our album, sir, showing evidences of all the refurbishment, repairs that we have done, and even retrofitting of A and B vehicles in Nigerian Army Vehicle Manufacturing Company. Some of them are here physically. You will take a tour around them, sir.
This way, sir. Sir, perhaps this is the highest point. Sorry. Sorry, my dear. Sorry. Watch out. Watch out. Sorry. Sorry, please. Ibrahim, take this away. Take it away. Take it away. Take it away. Take it away. Sir, perhaps this is the highest point of the assignment you gave us. Due to the pressure of mines on troops in the northeast, our consultants have gone back to the drawing board to develop a mine sweeper. So it took us just barely 2 months because it's a prototype. We kept testing until we got this. So the consultant will give you the few highlights of it before we conclude our presentation here.
Yes. So before us, this is a mine clearance system. What we're seeing here is the mechanical phase of it. So it's built to have 2 layers of defense, which is the electronic phase that we're still working on. That phase, what it does is that it detects the mine, all threats, all kinds of threats, from radio to plastic explosive or whatever and all that. Now, because in the battlefield, we have they are usually exposed to rough terrains, weather and all that. So most times we might have problems with our electronic systems. And if it fails, then this guy will now take the IED here. So nothing will ever go beyond this layer. And then it's built, it has 3 degrees of freedom. It can be able to hug the ground no matter the kind of terrain. If you are driving it over a yam ridges, it will go over it because it can yawn, it can stare, and you can turn. So we are going to demonstrate the efficacy of this mine today. Yes.
So, sir, we are almost coming to the end of our presentation. Colonel Alabi, please round up very quickly.
The special guest of us, the chief of minister. Here before us are what you called old, obsolete, carcass armor fighting vehicles in Nigerian Army inventory. They've since gone obsolete. The manufacturers have since stopped producing them, and over time we've lost almost all the ones that we have. Now, based on the chief of army staff's vision and the directive, the plan now is to change the drivetrain. We want to now get to use new, readily available engines and transmission systems in them, and work is ongoing in that direction. The armored plating is intact. This particular setup is Stagnat 2 range. They can stop up to your 7.6 to your GPMGs and the rest. And then fortunately, in the quantity that we have, there are over 600 vehicles of this category in the country right now. So if we're successful now at changing the drivetrain to get something that is ready locally available, we don't have problem of end user certificate because we're going to be using engines readily available in the market. We don't have issue of training because we're using engines that our technicians are familiar with, and then the spare parts can be gotten from any part of the country. And cost-wise, again, of course, it's a lot less. Take note, the major thing is that the ballistic protection of the vehicles are intact and not shaking. And the GMD has the mindset that will change some of them to much more mobile, change from mortar to the 12.7 mm and 30 mm guns on them, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, Captain Ibrahim, the journey started from Depot Nigerian Army. So we have the torrents of this gun, which is why we're ending. But Captain Ibrahim will give you a summary of what we have done so far.
Sir, based on the progress we have achieved since the inception of this company, sir, we have received a lot of vehicles, most of them the repatriated vehicles from the UNAMID operation, which were parked at the 176 Gas Battalion in Gwagwalada. So we received A vehicles and B vehicles. So far, the total vehicles we received, A vehicles we have 132, and total B vehicles is 53. Now, out of these, we have command, and we have tactical 39, ambulance 6, and we have mobile workshop 6. So, sir, in all this now, we have issued out 47 and 22 of the V vehicles, 47 of the V vehicles, 22 of the air vehicles. Now we have 2 balance of BTR on ground and one command Land Cruiser, sir. So these are the BTR that are here on ground, the 2 on ground, and we are going to subject them to test firing this afternoon, sir.
So we're ending up with the Buffalo conversion, and please, sir, this is just the last point, just for 2 minutes. Please give way here, so that you just from there will go back and continue the proceedings.
Sorry. Watch where you're going.
Shodak.
So this is the Buffalo conversion that we did. Yeah, instead of armor plating the existing Buffalo, we decided to build a whole shell and then sophisticate the vehicle. So all the sophistication we mentioned in that other vehicle that is there, we have mounted them there. You can see our long-range camera. can be able to view enemies for over 10 kilometers. We also have a drone that is attached to this vehicle that can give you area surveillance of the whole vehicle. We also have long-range radio communication systems. And then the vehicle we have 360-degree view for the vehicles or the cameras that are mounted, and then also the drive cameras. The drive cameras gives the driver 360-degree view. So, and then the good thing about this thing is that even at night we can be able to drive this vehicle on a ghost mode, that you off all the light and you can see your surrounding, because we have night vision cameras around the whole vehicle, sir. Yes, sir. So you can be able to see.
Yeah. So, sir, here from the main camera to the sending this, we have 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers away from different angles of this place. Troops will monitor what is happening and be able to react before. Prevention is better than cure. So that's what we do about this level, to work on the technology very well in such a way that our battle awareness is very much enhanced. Thank you, sir. We're going to fire at it today. Okay. It's coming for test. The mine is coming for the rollover mine today. Okay. Sure. Thank you very much, sir. So well done. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
These are inspection at various stands where various caliber of military hardware have been put on display for the inspection of the special guest of honor and the chief host, talking about the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Yusuf Tukur Buratai, where the ingenuity of the Nigerian Army has been put on display. Some of the equipment are all equipment that the Nigerian Army, through its vehicle manufacturing company, has been able to refurbish and in some instances manufactured. Some of them are newly delivered latest technology military hardware that are assisting the Nigerian Army in their multifaceted operations for enhanced security and peace in Nigeria. It's firepower demonstration, and it's about the capacity of the Nigerian Army to meet its ever-growing challenges of combating, neutralizing, and destroying the enemy in various war fronts. The event is taking place here in Jaji Army Range in Kaduna, which is equally the climax of the twin programs of the Chief of Army Staff Quarterly Conference and the Combat Arms Training Week for the Nigerian Army. The Nigerian Army Infantry Corps, with the headquarters domicile here in Jaji, Kaduna, and the Nigerian Army Corps, with the headquarters domicile in Bauchi, are actively participating as they epitomize the pride of the Nigerian Army in terms of its force of power, in terms of its ability to respond to the challenge of national security, in terms of its ability to excel with peace mission nationally and internationally. The event today is designed specifically to motivate further officers and men of the Nigerian Army and to reassure the Nigerian populace and the world generally of what the Nigerian Army stands for in terms of its capacity to deliver on its challenges.
Is one of the landmarks achievements of the Chief of Army Staff. Nigerian Army is now registered among the proud committee of nations with professional Army Women Corps. Nigerian Army female officers and soldiers are given ample opportunity to develop their potentials in leadership and command. On this note, sir, I now invite the Commander, Nigerian Army Women Corps, Brigadier General, to give a minute talk on Nigerian Army Women Corps. The commander, sir.
It's all right. Our special guest of honor, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kaduna State, ably represented here by the Deputy His Excellency Architect Yusuf Barnabas, our own amiable Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tuku Yusuf Buratai. Permit me to stand on the already established protocol. I am Brigadier General P.B. Fakrua, Acting Commander, Nigerian Army Women's Corps. Our special guests of honor, sir, very senior officers. In the next 25 minutes or thereabout, the female personnel of the Nigerian Army will be showcasing what they can do as part of their contributions in the security architecture of the Nigerian Army under the leadership of our amiable Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tuku Yusuf Buratai. The presentation is broken into twofold. The first 20 minutes will be for motorcycle, and then APC platoon will also be on the action. On this note, I want to hand over the microphone to the compare, the female compare, Lieutenant Chinda, to continue the proceedings of the display proper. Lieutenant Chinda.
The motorcycle team. Motorcycle have served Nigerian Army military forces around the world for very century. With this composite and inherent maneuvering feeling, niche roles in military operations by enabling troops to travel with speed and agility over terrain that vehicle cannot traverse. There have been times in combat where speed and agility is exactly what was needed when it comes to relaying a critical order, getting ammunitions to machine guns, or scouting miles ahead of advancing units. The quick mobile motorcycle is irreplaceable on the battlefield. With the establishment of the first Women Corps in Africa in 2018, the Nigerian Army has recognized the capacity and competency of women soldiers in the battlefield. Today, as you can see, the distinct motorcycle combat role in the Nigerian Army is carried out by Nigerian Army Women's Corps. The Corps has given the Nigerian Army opportunity to recognize women in order to drive the maximum benefits from their contribution to the defense and security of our nation. Two up, one down formation. This formation is used by the motorcycle team during advance and reconnaissance of enemy location. It is suitable in rapid operation on a wider front. It is good for mutual support and suitable when in contact or expecting enemy contact. It is very easy to maneuver or change to other formations with this formation. However, it is vulnerable to enemy in air attack. Extended line formation. This formation is suitable for crossing gap or occasionally used to support troops during final assaults. This formation allows maximum coverage of the ground. It is suitable for open country and like the northeast terrain. This formation is difficult to control and the motorcycle team is vulnerable to enemy fire from the flank. Single file formation. This formation is used for advancing along the road when out of contact with the enemy. It is good for command and control of motorcycle team. This formation makes team vulnerable to enemy air attack. formation. This formation is used for movement as stride axis of advance. This formation is good for control and allow the motorcycle team to move with speed. It is suitable for movement along roads but vulnerable to enemy air attack. Diamond formation. This formation is used in open ground. It is good for control of the motorcycle and the formations of all-round defense. It is also afford the motorcycle team all-round observation. This formation does not afford the team enough reserve. The motorcycle team mission specially tags them with the recognitions of possible enemy location and confirmation of the initial reconnaissance reports. They will do all of these deep reconnaissance in advance of an advancing force and will generally remain far behind enemy line unsupported. The entire time they were on reconnaissance. As you can see, the team has gathered enough information and is moving back to brief the overall commander on the activities of the enemy. The mechanized platoon. The mechanized infantry platoon has 4 mechanized infantry combat vehicles. Today, as you can see, these mechanized infantry combat vehicles are manned by an officer and soldiers of the Nigerian Army Women Corps. The platoon is commanded by Lieutenant Fatima Saleh, a member of the 63rd Regular Course of the Nigerian Defense Academy, and she is a galloper. Each of the mechanized infantry combat vehicles carried a section of infantry combat female soldiers. On dismounting, each section will be commanded by a section commander, normally a corporal. Before dismounting, the platoon will carry out tactical movements with the mechanized infantry combat vehicles. These movements are caterpillaring and leapfrogging. Manning the multipurpose light bulldozer MTLB is 08NA/61/1655 Corporal Okoro Princess. The next vehicle, which is the street Spartan, is manned by 11NA/66/9332 Lance Corporal Ezuku Nancy. Next is the Cobra Armored Personnel Carrier. It is manned by 04NA/55/1646 Sergeant Ojoma Garba. And finally is the CSVP-3 China Mine Resistance Anti-Ambush Protected Vehicle. It is manned by 04NA/55/1646 Corporal Dare Oluwakemi. All these armored personnel carrier drivers are from the 112 Special Women Battalion from the Nigerian Army Women Corps. Please, can we put the special guest of honor, very senior officers here present? Can we please put a round of applause for the women for this special demonstration they've given to us? The mechanized section. When under attack or closing in with the enemy, the infantry section will dismount and carry out firearm movements to neutralize the enemy. For example, in an attack, operations of war, it is not practicable for the assaulting troops to produce such effective fire on the enemy as would result in neutralization of the objective. Please, a round of applause for them, please. Therefore, what is followed is when a body of troops is assaulting, another body of troops produce effective volume of fire on the objective carrying the movement of assaulting troops by fire. Using capillary the section, we assault and neutralize enemy snipers, delaying their advance.
Yes, sir. Okay. It's finished. Tell the officer, signal and hurry up.
We send a round of applause for them. You see the one start clapping. Attention will be here. A round of applause for them, please. The platoon commander will march forward to come and seek permission from the special guest of honor. The platoon commander. The platoon commander is Lieutenant Fatima Saleh, a member of 63rd Regular Corps from the Nigerian Defense Academy.
They are all out.
As you can all see, the Power Bikes female personnel are having a march pass for the end of the show. A round of applause for them, please.
The special guest of honor, the Chief of Army Staff, very senior officers, gentlemen, can we please put our hands together for these very beautiful demonstrations by our professional Army Women Corps. Thank you very much. Next is the firepower demonstration, which will be climax of the event line up for today's program. The firepower demonstration will be in two stages. The first segment will take place here. On that note, I will invite Captain I.A. Olaruwaju to please take charge and make commentary for the activities that will take place. Captain Olaruwaju, please.
Thank you, sir.
Immediately after this segment, we expect Okay, sir. The special guest of honor, as I said earlier, 2 stages for these demonstrations. This one will be skipped for the next segment. We will now invite the Commander Infantry to please lead other senior officers to Table Hill for the subsequent demonstrations. Lieutenant AJ Alios will show the way while the senior officers will follow him. Lieutenant Alios, please.
How will you guys move the camera now?
Senior officers, gentlemen, we are please expected to move all of us to that stage. The video cameramen and photographers, please should go ahead and form up before the arrival of the dignitaries. Thank you. Remember also, this program is being covered live by Nigerian Television Authority, Channels Televisions, and Nigeria Radio. As well as Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, in 3 languages, Hausa, English, and Kanuri.
The demonstration of power by the Nigerian Army is going to the next level. In just a while ago, we have witnessed the demonstration by the Women Corps of the Nigerian Army, which is equally a new innovation by the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukurisu Buratai, who incorporated the Nigerian Army Women Corps with the sole aim of ensuring multiplier effect of efficiency on the part of the women soldiers, who he feels should not be relegated to domestic and clerical office works, especially in view of the growing challenges of peace operations. We have seen clearly from that demonstration the exemplification of that idea is that what man can do, woman can do even better. The demonstration was fully carried out by members of the Nigerian Army Women Corps, all of them women officers and women of the Nigerian Army. They have clearly demonstrated their capacity to deliver, their capacity to be co-partners with their male counterparts in terms of peace and security operations. This has brought to the fore the vision of the Chief of Army Staff, General Tukur Yusuf Buratai, which is aimed at bringing more efficiency and more productivity in the women soldier. The demonstration of firepower continues as a climax of the ongoing Chief of Army Staff Conference of the Nigerian Army, and equally the Combat Arms Training Week of the Nigerian Army, holding here in Jaji, Kaduna, the home of infantry. The dignitaries, officers and men and all invited guests have moved to another side for the continuation of the demonstration. The side they have moved to, we are expecting demonstration by heavy-duty military hardware, the real pride of the firepower of the Nigerian Army.
The firepower demonstration by the Nigerian Army is ongoing at this firing range of the Nigerian Army in Jaji, Kaduna, a climax of the Chief of Army Staff Conference and Combat Arms Training Week, co-hosted here in Jaji on the directive of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai. As observed earlier, the demonstration has moved to an upper level. There we are expecting a real demonstration of real firepower by real heavy-duty military hardware that are going to partake in this demonstration exercise. The special guest of honor, the Deputy Governor of Kaduna State, who is representing here the Kaduna State Governor Malam Nasir El-Rufai, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant Tukur Yusuf Buratai, other distinguished dignitaries, officers and men of the Nigerian Army have at this moment moved to that site. You can see from here where the real demonstration of firepower of heavy-duty military hardware is going to take place. This is a climax of this demonstration exercise, which is a very significant ritual of the Nigerian Army that is intended to reassure the nations of the readiness, the capacity and capability of immediate and prompt effective responsiveness of the Nigerian Army to ever-growing challenges of national security anywhere across the length and breadth of Nigeria. It's equally intended to further reinvigorate the unconquering and unyielding spirit of the Nigerian Army towards facing their obligation of ensuring national security and defending the territorial integrity of Nigeria. These are the essence of this fire demonstration power, which occasionally the Nigerian Army convene in order to reassure both its officers and men and the Nigerian nation as a whole that it is indeed fully on ground and fully groomed for the challenge of national security. What we witnessed just a while ago here is a demonstration by the newly incorporated Women Corps of the Nigerian Army, which is an innovation of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukulusu Buratai, who incorporated that corps of the women in order to bring to the fore their efficiency, their capacity to partake shoulder to shoulder with their male counterpart in the Nigerian Army. Now, the demonstration is even getting higher and it's becoming much more interesting, especially with the deployment of those heavy-duty military hardware that can be seen lined up in front of us that are going to be involved in the demonstration, which is going to bring to the fore the real firepower the Nigerian Army is truly very proud of. The demonstration is going to take place in due course. We have been cautioned to advise on viewer discretion because very soon we are going to hear very loud sounds coming from those heavy-duty military hardware as part of this demonstration exercise taking place here in Jaji, Kaduna, venue of the ongoing firepower demonstration, venue equally of the ongoing Chief of Army Staff Annual Conference, and equally the venue for this year's Combatant Armed Training Week for the Nigerian Army, which is intended to refreshing their understanding, to further reawaken their capacity to deliver in terms of national security. We have started hearing the loud bang of shooting by the personnel partaking in this firepower demonstration. A lot of transformation have taken place and are still taking place under the watch of the current Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukulusu Buratai, ever since he ascended the throne of the #1 army in Nigeria. It's very much on record the down moral status of the Nigerian army at the time of his takeover, with the growing challenges then of especially insurgency in the northeast region, occasioned by the insurgents capturing some territories of Nigeria and implanting on them their flag as a symbol of their victory over the Nigerian nation. That has since become history with the ruthless and radical approach resorted to by the Chief of Army Staff, who has not relented in his effort to ensure deliveries of effective military hardware to the Nigerian Army to enhance their fight against insurgency, and his own personal involvement in the fight against insurgency and general insecurity generally across the Nigerian nation. We have seen time and again how he has taken time, many a times very late in the night, to visit the troops on the line of operation. That has rekindled the hope and the unconquerable spirit of the Nigerian army and has enabled them to keep on the fight, to keep on the gallantry that eventually led to the successes attained in pushing those insurgents out of the territories they laid claim to earlier on. The successes have over the time been upheld and consolidated upon. The new drive of the Chief of Army Staff, the enhanced professionalism he brought to bear on the Nigerian Army, has equally drawn the attention of the international community, so much and so serious that the situation hitherto, where the Nigerian Army is being ostracized by the international community by way of embargo against the sales of arms and ammunition and training to the Nigerian Army, have seen giving way, where we now see the international community embracing the Nigerian army, offering them a lot of training opportunities, and even agreeing to assist and sell a lot of military hardware that is greatly assisting in this fight that we are having across many fronts of challenges in Nigeria. This is another vital achievement recorded under the watch of General Tukur Yusuf Buratai, talking about the enhancement of professionalism in the Nigerian army, talking about the embracement and the respect and dignity being accorded to the Nigerian army now, not just nationally, but even internationally. Our troops have continued to partake and excel in international peacekeeping operations, and they have been doing gallantly well, thereby raising the integrity and dignity of the Nigerian nation as a whole. Through the exploits of gallantry of the Nigerian army, the international community are now being constantly reassured of the sanctity of their investment in Nigeria. The situation where we had in the past, where investors are running away or turning their backs against Nigeria due to the growing unsurmountable challenges of security, has given way to assurance. The international community is being gradually and constantly assured of the sanctity and safety of their investment in Nigeria, courtesy of the exploits of the Nigerian armed forces, especially the Nigerian army under the watch of General Yusuf Tukur Buratai. We are here at the shooting range in Jaji, Kaduna State, venue with the firepower demonstration of the Nigerian army, a very important ritual that seems to symbolize the superiority, the unyielding and unconquerable spirit of the Nigerian army, their determination, their unrelenting efforts, their supreme sacrifices to ensure the sanctity of the indivisibility of the Nigerian nation. The firepower demonstration is a very important component that gives a lot of impetus to the needed encouragement to the Nigerian army as they continue facing their challenges of ensuring excellence in national security, excellence in safety and protection for the lives and property of the Nigerian populace. This essentially is the essence of this firepower demonstration right now taking place at the shooting range of the Nigerian army here in Jaji, Kaduna, which signifies the climax of the Chief of Army Staff Conference and the Combat Act Training Week for the Nigerian Army. Essentially, as we observed earlier, two components of the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Infantry Corps domiciled here in Jaji, Kaduna, and the Nigerian Army Corps domiciled in Bauchi, are partaking in this very important demonstration exercise. The Nigerian Army Corps, with its headquarters in Bauchi, is the custodians of most of this heavy-duty military equipment that we can see here in display. That is going a long way to reassure Nigerians of the capability of the Nigerian Army. The Infantry Corps, which is the backbone of successes in all war fronts, the headquarters domicile here in Kaduna, is indeed the pride of the Nigerian Army. With ever-growing challenges of national security, where the Chief of Army Staff is constantly mobilizing and equipping his personnel and men to ensure they surmount it, this demonstration will go a long way to further give reinvigoration to the Nigerian officers and men as they carry this ultimate sacrifice for their nation, talking about defending the integrity of Nigeria. The shooting range going on by heavy-duty military equipment that are assembled for this demonstration. As expected, it has to be far away from where the people are seated for this occasion because of obvious reality of what it takes to demonstrate the capacity of this firefighting equipment under the possession of the Nigerian Army. Just a while ago, we have seen a display on the stage of some of this military hardware that have been under the possession of the Nigerian Nigerian Army. Firing going on by heavy duty equipment of the Nigerian Army at the shooting range at Jaji, venue of the ongoing firepower demonstration by the Nigerian Army. We can see by the side an assemblage of officers and men of the Nigerian Army that have been gathered specifically for this occasion. In due course, we are expecting another demonstration from them where they are going to show us real war situation, how troops of the Nigerian Army transform into section, into platoon, into battalion, and how they engage the enemy in real war hostility. Real demonstration of the firepower, a real firing of power by the Nigerian Army. The real action of this firepower demonstration is far away from our camera positions. This is on the advice of the officers of the Nigerian Army that are involved in this demonstration for obvious safety reasons. The teaching ongoing across that end, it is in respect of the demonstration of the power capacity of this heavy-duty military hardware that are assembled here in Jaji for the purpose of this firepower demonstration. The Nigerian Army is all about exerting its superiority in terms of its capacity backed by its military power that will enable it to subdue and neutralize the enemy all the time they are involved in peace or security operations. From time to time, demonstration of this nature is very necessary in order to reawaken their awareness and their alertness with respect to the challenges of national security that is confronting them every now and then. This further equally is a demonstration to the entire nation that, contrary to certain misgiving in certain quarters, the Nigerian Army is not resting on its oars in trying to ensure the security and sanctity of lives and property of the Nigerian populace. This is the essence of demonstration like this, which goes a long way to guarantee the cohesiveness of Nigeria as a single indivisible entity. Firepower demonstration by officers and men of the Nigerian Army here at the shooting range, Jaji, Kaduna, venue of the ongoing Chief of Army Staff Conference and Combat Arm Training Week for the Nigerian Army. Unyielding and unconquerable, unrelenting, ever-determined Nigerian Army, demonstrating its capacity to fire, neutralize, and destroy the enemy whenever the challenges arises. The Nigerian Army, under the watch of the #1 soldier of Nigeria, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai, here in Jaji shooting range, venue of the ongoing firepower demonstration by the Nigerian Army. This is a drum that only men understand. This is a drum that is not meant for dancing. This is a drum that scares away the enemy. This is the drum that reassures people of their safety. This is a drum that reassures Nigerians of the sanctity of their lives under the watch of the Nigerian Army. Real firing force by heavy-duty hardware on demonstration here at the shooting range in Jaji, the venue of the ongoing fire force demonstration by the Nigerian Army, which has in attendance the special guest of honor, representative of the governor of Kaduna State, in the person of the deputy governor, Mr. Barnabas Bala. Equally in attendance, the Chief of General Staff, the #1 Nigerian Army, distinguished officers and men of the Nigerian Army. Multi-purpose machine gun under operation at this demonstration center of the firepower demonstration by the Nigerian Army. These are some of the weapons that guarantee the dignity, the charisma of the Nigerian Army. Some of the weapons that gives confidence to the Nigerian nation in the Nigerian military. This is the Nigerian Army style of saying, let there be peace in Nigeria, let there be peace across the world. To ensure the peace and security, there must be demonstration of capacity for enforcement, especially in situation where the enemy does not understand ordinary words of mouth, where the enemy understands only the power of the force of the Nigerian Army. The Nigerian Army is saying it has abundance of that power to demonstrate in protection of nationhood. This is the demonstration ongoing here in Jaji, Kaduna State, the home of infantry. It's happening. We can now understand why we were asked to clear our equipment from that range side. The real firing power is coming up. Very scary, very overwhelming, very assuring of the capacity of the Nigerian Army to deliver in defense of motherland. Officers and men in attendance don't seem perturbed by this overwhelming sound of guns from their colleagues. A testimony that they are well groomed and used to this kind of show of force. This same force unyielding, unconquerable, unrelenting, ever determined Nigerian army. This is a real show of force. This is a real demonstration of firepower. This is a real demonstration of what the Nigerian army symbolizes. This is a real demonstration of the capacity of the Nigerian army to ensure defense of the security of lives and property of the Nigerian populace. This is a demonstration of the commitment of the Nigerian army to make Nigeria a safe place for life, for investment, and for all lawful activities of not only the citizenry, but even foreigners that are legally residing in Nigeria with their diverse business activities. This is Jaji, venue of the ongoing firepower demonstration by the Nigerian Army, which is a climax to the week-long Chief of Army Staff Conference, an equally week-long combat army training week for officers and men of the Nigerian Army. I'm now being joined by Major Yahaya Adamu Gulde of the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Army. Major Yahaya, what is the essence of this demonstration going on right now?
Well, thank you very much. This demonstration is part of the activities earmarked to commemorate the Chief of Army Staff First Quarter Conference and also the Combat Arm Training Weeks. And these Combat Arm Training Weeks involve the infantry and the armor corps. And these are the two major combat arms in the Nigerian Army who major undertake battles in the event of curbing the menace of any insecurity. You see, the infantry are the foot soldiers who confront the enemy directly, while we have the armor who use their tanks, various tanks, to lead the advance while the infantry follow them. And now the firepower demonstration overall is to test the firepower and efficiency of these combat arms. And that's exactly what they are doing. As you can see, the infantry use mostly the light weapon, while the armor use the Eagleman battle tank and Scorpion, as well as T-55 tanks. And that's what they are using now to engage the target, to show to the people, to our audience here, their capability and how they can engage targets in various military operations.
When the military man like you hears this kind of noise, how do you feel?
Well, it's one of the battle noise that we are used to. But for the civilian, they find it very difficult to endure and to bear. And that's why you hear a higher caliber of weapon with that heavy sound, causing a lot of vibration. And that's why you see, they don't just do it like that. They look at the target and make sure that they get the target. And that's exactly what they do in battle. And that's why this demonstration is to showcase the capability of those weapons to the Nigerians and to the outside world, to see what the Nigerian Army can do in battle and actually what we are presently doing in battle in the ongoing various operations in the country.
Talking about ongoing various operations, there are too many of them. Every day with own kind of challenge. the Nigerian army, truly speaking, poised to face this challenge squarely?
Of course, there is no any security challenge that the Nigerian army cannot face, and that's why you are seeing us here. All the infantry and the armor are here. These are the major combat arms, as I've told you. No any kind of threat they cannot face with these weapons we are having, and that's why we keep forging ahead. We keep neutralizing all sorts of threats, militants, either Boko Haram or another bandit in any part of the country.
So what assurance does this signify for the Nigerian populace?
Well, this to test the marksmanship and the efficiency of those troops manning those weapons. So those troops, when they keep training, they became used to those weapons and they became perfect. Even more, they become even more excellent in handling those weapons, and it become easier for them at the event of any battle, either prepared or either impromptu, to curtail any security by getting the precision of targets, not to waste ammo.
We witnessed demonstration of some of this military hardware, especially demonstration by the Nigerian Army Vehicle Manufacturing Company. How effective is that company?
You see, this company come into limelight under the initiative of the President Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai. You know, we have a lot of challenges at times in making use of some of our vehicles. So with the establishment of the Nigerian Army Vehicle Manufacturing Company, they were able to manufacture certain vehicles that we use, that it goes with our terrain in Nigeria. And that's why you see some of those vehicles, you can't find them anywhere. We look at our terrain and they now design a vehicle that will suit our terrain for our different type of operation. And that's why you see some of those equipment, you see that those vehicles they constructed there, it match with our terrain, and that's why we use them effectively on our enemy anywhere we find ourselves. Neither in a muddy area, marshy area, sandy area, or no matter how difficult the weather is.
Before the coming of this regime, there is embargo on the Nigerian Army, especially by the United States of America, where they suspended training of Nigerian Army and supply all sales of arms and ammunition. What is the situation now? Because they focus on the issue of professionalism. How professional is the Nigerian Army today?
Well, the Nigerian Army under the leadership of Lieutenant General Buratai is highly professional, and that's why we embark on manufacturing of local equipment that will help us to curtail our own security back home. Whether we get or whether we don't get, we try as much as possible. With the ingenuity we have, we construct what we have to curtail it. And that's why you see that MRAP that was under construction is to serve our purpose, and it goes with our terrain. And even some of our equipment that were initially bad, General Tukur Yusuf Buratai has refurbished all of them, and they are fully functional, and they were all upgraded to the standard of equipment that is used in modern warfare.
What is happening to the welfare of officers and men under the watch of General Buratai?
I think we've never had it so easy like in this regime under the leadership of General Tukur Yusuf Buratai. The welfare of troops in all ramifications has been enhanced. The welfare of various operations has been enhanced. A ration cash allowance too has been enhanced. And that's why today you can see the morale of our troops anywhere they are carrying out their operation is very, very high, and that's why we keep forging ahead, and that's why you see us succeeding in curtailing some of the threats in our country.
Another innovation under his watch is the incorporation of this Nigerian Army Women Corps. What is the idea?
Well, you see, Nigerian Army Women Corps was also established by the police of Buratai. You know, over time, we look at women as if they are incapable to do what men can do. And mostly people see them as being used as a domestic staff in office. So he turned around and said, no, these women can do even better than the men. And he quickly reorganized the women and established a corps. And today, with what you've just seen here, all the fighting vehicles you see, the MTLB, that is the Army Personal Carrier, the MRAP and the Cobra APC you see were all driven by those women in combat. And even the motorcycle you see, motorcycle display you see are all done by those women. So more especially this motorcycle you see are what these women can use to fight any form of threat in a difficult terrain where a vehicle cannot go. No matter how the narrow roads are, they move in and find the enemy and make sure that they deal with it. The same thing with this armor fighting vehicles that you see being driven by those women. They use it to fight in combat, what a man is doing, they too, they do, because they are part and parcel of the battle. So today, the Nigerian Army Female Corps is seen as one of the pride corps of the Nigerian Army, who assisted all arm of services in achieving its desired objective in battle. They no longer sit in office, they no longer give domestic assistance, but the real work which they join, which is the army, to carry out military operation, they are fully involved in it.
Part of the demonstration also are some of the latest equipment for tracking pedestrian vehicles, both light and heavy, and many others. What is your message to the enemy?
Well, for every person who think he can confront us or he can keep causing any threats that we cannot confront him, then I want to say that sorry for that. By the time we come out, then with what you are seeing today, then you will know that the enemy has no place in this country again.
And what is your message to our viewers, Nigerian populace?
Well, our viewers should have confidence in the Nigerian Army, which is the pride of the nation. They should also support the Nigerian Army in achieving their objective in ensuring peace and security in our country. They shouldn't be distracted by the propagandas of enemy, but they should see the Nigerian Army as one of the driving force that will secure their environment to go about their normal business.
Thank you, Major Yahaya Adamu.
Thank you very much.
Well, I've been talking with Major Yahaya Adamu of the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Army. I can assure our viewers it's just an uneasy camp for me right now with this heavy range of shelling by the Nigerian Army at this demonstration site here in Jaji, venue of the ongoing firepower demonstration by the Nigerian Army, which is an event that climaxes the week-long Chief of Army Staff Conference and the week-long Combat Army Training Week for the Nigerian Army. As you have heard from the horse's mouth, the Nigerian Army is truly repositioned and truly equipped and battle ready to deal with the enemy, both open and hidden. This entails this high-profile demonstration of firepower by the Nigerian Army that is gradually becoming more scaring and more overwhelming, especially to we the civilian populace that are assembled here at this shooting range. The message is simple: no hiding place for the enemy. Is surrender or get neutralized and destroyed. In addition to this heavy-duty hardware on display and on demonstration, the Nigerian Army, as witness on that stance demonstration, had a lot of war components. Some are specifically designed for detection and tracking of the enemy. Some can track the enemy even in dark places, so long as the body of the enemy can generate heat. Some are rather equipped that can always track the enemy wherever he goes, wherever he tries to hide. In other words, no hiding place for the enemy. The infantry and the army corps of the Nigerian Army, doing what they know best: firing and shelling. Real firepower. Different guns for different targets, both close range and long range. Unyielding and unconquerable Nigerian Army, poised for the defense of nationhood. the sound, the fire, the smoke, all targeting to destroy the enemy. Surely no hiding place whenever the Nigerian army engages the enemy in open hostility. Professionalism is another emphasis of the current Chief of Army Staff on the Nigerian Army community. Reverting to their core ethics of profession is an obligation he promised to uphold and consolidate upon. This has gradually given way to the acceptance, respect and recognition of the Nigerian Army by the international community, who are coming in their numbers in support of the Nigerian Army in its various peace and security operations, both within and without the country. This is a testimony of growth in professionalism in the Nigerian Army, as emphasized by the current leadership under the watch of Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai. Fearlessness is another. The Nigerian Army in his own side must be as fearless as it is obligatory upon him. Active involvement in peace operations. It has been leadership by example. Many a time we have seen the Chief of Army Staff crisscrossing the labyrinth of operation theaters, interacting with troops on the line of duty, giving the that required moral booster to carry on with their obligation of defense for nationhood. Is indeed leadership by example. Is firepower demonstration by the Nigerian Army here in Jaji firing range, Kaduna State, Nigeria, presided over by the Chief of Army Staff, the no-nonsense Chief of Army Staff, who has vowed to consolidate on the core professionalism of the Nigerian Army, who has demonstrated his ability to bring about workable and efficient innovations that will bring dignity and respect for the Nigerian Army. This is in addition to so many welfare schemes that he has unfolded, which the Nigerian Army under his watch are truly very proud of, as attested to a while ago by the major we just interviewed, who has assured us some of these welfare packages, which are equally seen on a daily basis, unfolding across the various army formations across the country. We can equally see the boosting morale of the Nigerian Army as they go on so many operations. And talking of operations, there are so many of them, starting from the most popular Operation Lafia Dole, which has indeed brought up stability and peace, a reclaiming of territory that were hitherto taken over by the enemy, especially in some parts of the northeastern Nigeria. The Nigerian Army is indeed the flagship and pride of national security. And this is exactly the vision the Chief of Army Staff, General Tukur Yusuf Buratai, is poised to ensure its consolidation for the overall good of Nigerians and non-Nigerians living in Nigeria, so that Nigeria remains a peaceful, indivisible entity that is prospering and a pride for every citizen of the nation. Firepower demonstration by the Nigerian Army taking place live at Jaji Shutu Rech, which climaxed the week-long Combat Army Training Week for the Nigerian Army, as well as the Chief of Army Staff Conference, which the Chief of Army Staff declared some few days back, in which he further reiterated the commitment of the present government of President Muhammadu Buhari towards ensuring proper and desired support for the armed forces in carrying out their routine obligations of protecting the integrity, the peace, the lives, and the property of Nigerians and non-Nigerians alike living within the shores of Nigeria. For demonstration by the Nigerian Army here at the Jaji Shooting Range in Kaduna, venue of the ongoing Chief of Army Staff Conference and Combatant Arms Training Week for officers and men of the Nigerian Army. A lot has taken place, a lot more is being expected. The climax of this event is this high-profile shooting, which demonstrates the essence and the real capability of the power of the Nigerian Army in terms of its preparedness and alertness to come to the defense of the Nigerian nation under the sun and in the rain whenever the call to the national duty arises. We are still expecting an address from the Chief of Army Staff, who is going to address officers and men of the Nigerian Army that are assembled here for this high-profile military ritual, which the military hold in high esteem. The military is all about power. It's all about capability. It's all about alertness. It's all about efficient responsiveness to national challenge. It's all about upholding and consolidating of food security and the sanctity of Nigeria as an indivisible entity. This is what this firepower demonstration goes ahead to further reassure Nigerians that the army is indeed poised for the challenge, that the army is indeed well equipped and battle ready to carry on its obligation of defending the territorial integrity of Nigeria. Many times we have had the adage, what man can do, a woman can do even better. Demonstration of that adage was brought to the core a while ago here, where exclusively officers and women of the Nigerian Army under the Nigerian Army Women Corps came up with gallantry demonstration to show their capacity to partake alongside their men in peace and security operations. In other words, the Chief of Army Staff is emphasizing, gone were the days when the women soldiers were confined to domestic and clerical functions in offices. They will answer the real name of the Nigerian Army as they partake in the onerous task of defending their motherland against the aggression of the enemy. That's the Nigerian Army for you, unyielding in all ramifications, unconquerable. Indeed, as their logo says, yield to nothing. To nothing they truly yield. Nigerian Army, the flagship of the Nigerian military, the flagship of assurance in the sanctity and indivisibility of Nigeria as a nation. The growing challenges to national security witnessed in recent years has brought to the fore what the Nigerian Army signifies, especially judging by its capability to respond to those challenges in the excellent way they have been doing, which has brought the much needed peace in places that peace has deserted hitherto, which has brought a lot of assurance to people that had at a point lost hope in the ability of the Nigerian nation to rise in their defense to guarantee the safety of their lives and their property. The Nigerian Army, in collaboration with other sister armed forces, has demonstrated that resilient capacity to make Nigeria a better place for everyone, where people of goodwill to invest and reap the benefits of their investments.
This is the shooting range site of the Nigerian Army here in Jaji, Kaduna, venue of the ongoing firepower demonstration by the Nigerian Army. We have heard the high-profile power demonstration as demonstrated by officers and men of the Nigerian Army, specifically the Infantry Corps and the Nigerian Army Corps. The Special Guest of Honor, the Chief of Staff, officers and men of the Nigerian Army and other invited guests have truly been treated to the superior power of the Nigerian Army as exemplified in this demonstration right now taking place at the shooting range in Jaji, Kaduna. The Nigerian Army remains the pride tag of national security. The Nigerian Army remains, in the words of their officers, especially the leadership, unyielding to the challenges of security, unyielding to the aggressions of the enemy, unyielding to the threats to national security, unyielding to the ever-growing challenges of banditry, abduction, and many others. These are just a very few military hardware that have been deployed to this site, but their effectiveness and efficiency is perhaps better imagined. Going by that demonstration, especially the overwhelming power of the firing capacity of the Nigerian army, Nigerians have indeed every cause to reinvest their confidence in the capacity and capability and responsiveness of the Nigerian army towards meeting the growing challenges of national security. These are the hills at the shooting range in Jaji. Jaji is the home of the Nigerian Infantry Corps. Jaji in Kaduna is a place of pride for the Nigerian security architecture. It's a place that reassures Nigerians in the sanctity of their security and peace under the watch of the Nigerian army. With ongoing innovations, enhancing performances, combat support, deliveries of military hardware by the Nigerian government to the Nigerian army and other armed forces, the Chief of Army Staff is simply re-emphasizing, especially through his word, while declaring often the Chief of Army Staff conference here in Kaduna, that the Nigerian army would live up to its challenges of ensuring national security. This is a demonstration to test the efficacy of the bullet jacket developed by the Nigerian Army Vehicle Manufacturing Company, which has made some display here at the site of the shooting range venue of the firepower demonstration. They have spoken about the invention of this fire jacket, which they said is even beyond some of the standards known globally. They have promised to make a demonstration. They have just demonstrated how effective that fire jacket is and how efficient it could be in assisting our armed forces in the war front. The Nigerian Army Vehicle Manufacturing Company is one of the places of pride in the Nigerian Army presently. Much has been said about the desire or the need, or rather the obligation, for our military institutions to be self-reliant and self-sustaining in terms of the provision and delivery of some of these required equipment for their routine engagements. True to expectations, the Nigerian Army Vehicle Production Company is living up to its billing, especially judging by the demonstration we have seen a while ago of sophisticated military hardware manufactured or refurbished by the company that are being used now by the Nigerian Army in their various operations. This is a good omen for better. Firepower demonstration, Nigerian Army at the shooting range in Jaji, Kaduna. Climax of a week-long Chief of Army Staff conference and week-long combat arm training week for officers and men of the Nigerian Infantry Corps and Nigerian Army Corps that are participating in this program here in Jaji, Kaduna. a week long of high-profile engagement, a week long of sharpening the efficiency and capacity of the Nigerian Army in its desired response to national challenges. It's a week-long program that seeks to resettle the Nigerian Army on the part of enhanced professionalism so that that practice demise the firepower demonstration. Firepower of various caliber of weapons put on demonstration.
That's it, the climax for the firepower demonstration. Please, can we give them a round of applause?
And men. With a painstaking research, we have been able to come up with a bulletproof vest, which we are going to test its potency today. We have been able to come up with a vehicle that is plated with armored plating metal that will be able to resist point-blank shot by the enemy, and also a minesweeper that will be able to resist up to 12 tons of mine. What we are going to watch today is just for us to show that the research effort is giving results. It may not be 100%, but at least in the Army, when you make it 65%, that's a big grade. But I hope that my company will make up to 70 at the end of this proceedings. So may I call on Major Adisa to run through what we have just in the next 10 minutes. Thank you very much, sir.
I am Major J.K. Adisa, by Nigerian Army Vehicle Manufacturing. Produced at Nigerian Army Vehicle Manufacturing Company. The firer is there to engage it point blank shot. Will be brought to this stand where the dignitaries can have a good look. That marks the end of the firing of the ballistic vest locally produced at Nigerian Army Vehicle Manufacturing Company.
A still firepower demonstration by the Nigerian Army at the shooting range in Jaji, Kaduna, which climaxed the week-long event of the Chief of Army Sub-Conference and Combat Up Training Week for officers and men of the Nigerian Army Corps, Nigerian Army Infantry Corps, and Nigerian Army Armored Corps. It has been a very high-profile, engaging exercise where the capacity of the Nigerian Army has been brought to the fore, where the capacity and their alertness to respond to national securities have been put on demonstration, where the creativity and ingenuity of the Nigerian Army via its Nigerian Army Vehicle Manufacturing Company have equally been put on display. That firepower of this heavy-duty equipment demonstration is about now being rounded up, and we are going to the next phase of this firepower demonstration. There are still much events left to be displayed. The address of the Chief of Army Staff will come subsequently. Nigerian Army in real war situation, so unyielding, so unconquerable, so unrelenting, ever poised to make the supreme sacrifice in defense of the sanctity of the integrity of the territory of the Nigerian nation. This is the essence of this demonstration, which is always held at high esteem by officers and men of the Nigerian Army. The chief convener of this event is the Chief of Army Staff, who is here in attendance live, alongside the special guest of honor at this occasion, the Governor of Kaduna State, represented by the Deputy Governor, Mr. Barnabas Bala. Officers and men of the Nigerian Army have demonstrated in no small measure what they signify in terms of their capacity, what they epitomize in terms of their being flagship of the nation's security. And much assurance has been given to the Nigerian populace of the capacity and alertness of the Nigerian Army to respond to their cries in the event of breach to the peace in the country. It's firepower demonstration by the Nigerian Army, the climax of the Chief of Army Staff Conference holding here at the firing range by the hills of the Jaji firing range here in Kaduna. Still awaiting the address of the nation's #1 soldier, General Tukur Yusuf Buratai, who under his watch a lot of transformation have come to bear in the Nigerian Army, starting from reclaiming that dignity the Nigerian Army has always been associated with, but which has come under intense threat of extinction as a result of overwhelming threats by especially the Boko Haram insurgents that at a point threatened the continuous integral cohesion of Nigeria. That has been efficiently changed, courtesy of leadership by example of the Chief of Army Staff, who has immensely enjoyed the support of the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the country, President Muhammadu Buhari, himself a one-time no-nonsense gallant officer that has risen to the challenge of national security whenever such challenge arose in his own days of military exploits. A lot of changes and innovations have been brought to bear in the Nigerian Armed Forces. The Nigerian military architecture has been reconfigured, has been repositioned on the path of efficiency. The government under the watch of President Muhammadu Buhari has continued to demonstrate its sincere support to enable the Nigerian Armed Forces to work effectively. Both internal and external measures have been taken, especially through diplomatic shuttles to nations that matter in terms of scouting for their support to ensure efficiency for the Nigerian Army. Just last year, the President was honored by King Hussein of Jordan, who donated 100 solid military hardware for the Nigerian Army. The authorities of the United States of America that have hitherto placed embargo on Nigerian Army or Nigerian armed forces generally in terms of training and supply of logistic support, that narrative has changed. Nigeria is now enjoying that needed collaboration. This is an attestation of the extent to which the present leadership of the Nigerian Armed Forces have gone in enhancing professionalism in their routine operations. The Nigerian Armed Forces have ever since promised and have kept to their promise of relegating the army to the powers of the civil authority in Nigeria. That has changed the much derided stories of military brutality on the civil populace. Of importance of recent is the various operations the Nigerian Army is being mobilized across the length and breadth of Nigeria to ensure rising peace and harmony and creating that enabling environment for well-meaning Nigerians to explore their legal potentials on routine basis. While these pockets of threats still exist, the Nigerian Armed Forces are rising to the occasion. They are rising to the occasion with guaranteed support of supplies by the government. That has been assisting greatly in normalizing places that were very recently under serious security threat. Firepower demonstration is about reassuring Nigeria and Nigerians of the efficiency of the Nigerian Army and their capacity to respond to challenges of security. It equally emphasizes on enhancing the overall alertness of the Nigerian Army to be alive to their obligations. It also emphasizes on sharpening their creative prowess in the pursuit of their routine obligation of safeguarding lives and sanctity of Nigerians. With guaranteed sustained support of both welfare and equipment, the Nigerian Army, according to the Chief of Army Staff, will keep the flag flying for guaranteed Nigerian security. This is the climax of this week-long activity occasioned by this firepower demonstration by the Nigerian Army that truly yield to nothing. A more energized, a more encouraged, a more motivated, a more alert, a more responsive, and a more proud Nigerian Army is what the Chief of Army Staff, General Tuku Yusuf Buratai, is working hard to usher into a Nigeria of our collective dream. The day is far and well spent. Participants at this occasion have risen to the occasion. They have done as expected, demonstrating sheer capacity, demonstrating ability, demonstrating professional excellence, demonstrating commitment to motherhood, demonstrating innovation, demonstrating ingenuity, demonstrating versatility, demonstrating capacity for responsiveness to growing national challenge and national security. Still awaiting the speech of the Chief of Army Staff, who is going to address officers and men of the Nigerian Army at this FOC demonstration exercise, talking about the firepower demonstration by the Nigerian Army, holding at the shooting range here in Jaji, Kaduna, the venue of the week-long Chief of Army Staff Conference. Demonstration of capacity for rapid fire, sporadic firing of overwhelming power of capacity of the Nigerian Army equipment has just been rounding up, awaiting the next phase of this firepower demonstration, which may include the address by the Chief of Army Staff, the exemplary General Tukur Yusuf Buratai, who has been on the throne of leadership of the Nigerian Army for close to 4 years now, and it has been 4 eventful years of systematic transformation, of uplifting capacity, of consolidating the capacity and efficiency of the Nigerian Army, of expansion in terms of infrastructure, of strengthening professional proficiency, of enhancing welfare package for officers and men of the Nigerian Army, and which have been consistently resulting in further reassurance of sustainable good results arising from those sustained investment on the Nigerian Army, the overall of which is the guarantee for the sanctity of indivisibility of Nigeria as a sovereign nation. A sophisticated army war tank on demonstration. We have had the overwhelming power capacity of this war tank, judging by the roar of its firing capacity that has overwhelmed the airwaves just a while ago. It's such a superior power the enemy can certainly not withstand. This makes the Nigerian Army the pride tag of the Nigerian security. The foot soldiers, talking of the infantry, and members of the Armor Corps, talking about the managers of heavy-duty war tanks, the APC and other assorted artillery equipment, the pride of the Nigerian Army, participating here at this firepower demonstration, demonstrating what they know best, demonstrating what is upon them an obligation, of doing the nation proud in terms of security and defense, in terms of guaranteeing the sanctity of lives and property of Nigerians. Firing range of Jaji, the home of infantry, the pride of the Nigerian Army. Officers and men of the Nigerian Infantry Corps domiciled here in Jaji, Kaduna, and the Nigerian Army Corps domiciled in Bauchi are partaking at this event that is to the Nigerian Army an issue of pride, a demonstration of strength, a demonstration of excellence in professionalism, a demonstration of capacity, a demonstration of readiness to respond to the call of Nigerian security. The firing range is being rounding up. Next, we'll be on to another level of this firepower demonstration, in the course of which the nation's #1 army, the Chief of Army Staff, General Tuku Yusuf Buratai, will address the participants.
Devices or not. While the troops are on patrol, it is envisaged that they will come in contact with improvised explosive device attack. I ask you your indulgence, I will watch and see the reaction and the impact on the equipment. And the mine clearance system is designed to protect troops and military vehicles from buried explosives and improvised explosive devices. And the equipment has two lines of defense, namely the electronic lines of defense and the mechanical line of defense. What we are going to see here today is the mechanical line of defense. You can see on the mine clearance system, we have 16 tires, 8 on each side, and all of them are independently suspended on the military equipment or troops. Also, this equipment is universal in nature. It can be mounted on all types of vehicles. The tires are cheap and readily available in the market. If destroyed, they can be replaced without any waste of time. From what I'm seeing here, no single penetration on the vehicle. We will all be allowed to see the degree of the impact. The firer is trying to engage the vehicle frontally. It's trying to engage the treated glass, which is also bulletproof. You can see it. Good shots, but no single penetration. This is the end of the testing of the ballistic armored vehicle. Thank you, sir.
All human resources the Chief of Army Staff. Next, the Commander of Infantry, the co-host of this Combat Arms Training Week. We want to appreciate our distinguished guest and the Chief of Army Staff. With that privilege, the Commander 16th Brigade, who is going to read why the Commander in Infantry really appreciate the Chief of Army Staff for the subsequent presentation of Special Guest of Honor, His Excellency the Deputy Governor of Kaduna State, Chief of Army Staff, very senior and retired officers here present, our able warrant officers, COs and NCOs, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I am Brigadier General Obi, a private infantry officer and commander 16th Brigade, Nigerian Army. One of such awards to a highly distinguished Infantry Star Award. The Infantry Star Award, which will be known by the acronym IS, is the highest and most prestigious honor of the Infantry Corps. It is awarded to recognize a senior infantry officer who commanded an infantry brigade operation in Nigerian Army and also attained the prestigious appointment of the Chief of Army Staff. Such a senior officer must have distinguished himself and contributed to the development of the Infantry Corps. It is my honor on behalf of the Commander Infantry Corps to announce the first recipient of this award in the person of Lieutenant General Tukuru Yusufu Buratai, Nigerian Army Medal, Grand Service Star, Order of Military Award, and also now a recipient of his infantry staff.
Come on. See.
Please, another round of applause for the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant Tukul Yusufu Buratai. Special guest of honor, Chief of Army Staff. We have another presentation. This one done by the acting commander, Nigerian.
Yes.
Let them be part of it. Bring the movement. Bring the movement. Yes, sir.
Next.
Sir. Camera, sir. Sir, camera, sir. Go.
Yes, sir. We have removed it.
Removed from there now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So we're going through our research again so that the engineers can give us the one that will explain it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Governor of Kaduna State, Madam El-Rufai, here ably represented by the Deputy Governor Architect Yusuf Bala Barnabas, other members of the Kaduna State Executive Council here present, Commander Tradok, Principal Officers from Defense, and the Army Headquarters, commanders of various military institutions here present, co-commanders, the general officers commanding, the commandants of Nigerian Army schools and the high service institutions here present, group managing directors of Nigerian Army investments and companies, past commanders of the infantry and armored corps, senior military officers, both and retired, distinguished guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. You will agree with me that the Nigerian Army Infantry has come of age. I was comparing the Nigerian Army Armored Corps on day 2 of the conference, where I said the Armored Corps officers are versatile, very intelligent, robust, and indeed, they have the confidence while discharging their duties. I've been vindicated today, where we saw that young officer dutifully discharging his responsibility, describing each ammunition from the smallest caliber in the infantry to one of the largest caliber of ammunition in the armored corps inventory. And I can see the GOC 3 diff very much proudly shaking his body, acknowledging that we are very much proud of the combat arm of decision. Just like the armored corps, the infantry too is making strides. I the young officer describing the infantry equipment also being very versatile, very intelligent, and he has full grasp of what it takes to be an infantry personnel. The new inventions and the new acquisitions of the Nigerian Army, force multipliers, and to cap it all, the Nigerian Army Vehicle Manufacturing Company is commanded by an infantry officer. Rest assured, the infantry will always lead. We welcome the Armored Corps by our side always. I want to thank Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kaduna State, here ably represented by the Deputy Governor, my good friend, and Architect Excellence, who has shown great interest and love to the Nigerian Army. Really appreciate you and for always being with us at the right time. As you've been told, the firepower demonstration today is one of the last activities of the Combined Combat Arms Training Week, as well as the Chief of Army Staff's first quarter conference. This conference brought us together to assess what we have so far achieved in the first quarter 2019. From what we have seen and displayed by the Corps and the Infantry Corps, the various repairs, renovation, and ensuring our vehicles are serviceable is a major achievement within this first quarter. The innovation by the Nigerian Army in the areas of equipment production, utilizing and indigenizing our equipment, bringing back vehicles and equipment hitherto have been abandoned, resuscitating them is another major achievement that we've really recorded. As you've been promised by the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian Army Vehicle Manufacturing Company, that in the next 3-4 months we should have our brand new vehicles originally produced by Nigerian Army for Nigerian Army, and indeed other services and the general public that they may find it useful, especially the paramilitary organizations as well. This, we believe, will transform the Nigerian Army and the Nigerian industrial complex when we start mass production. We are already sourcing the sum of 1 billion naira to support the Nigerian Army Vehicle Manufacturing Company. We'll be taking on. We have a number of investments in Nigerian Army that will generate huge amount of money, and we'll take a loan from there to support the Nigerian Army Vehicle Manufacturing Company so that they will be able to stay on good footing and then able to realize our dream of having indigenous vehicles, fighting vehicles, armored fighting vehicles, and indeed subsistence vehicles, and to continue to maintain our existing equipment. I've said it before, military equipments are never obsolete. With the maintenance culture of the military globally, vehicles and equipment of the Second World War are still serviceable in other parts of the world. So there is no gainsaying that if we adopt the same maintenance culture, we'll be able to conserve scarce foreign resources, foreign exchange for our country, and be able to employ more hands to ensure that we are locally sufficient in manpower, the required skill, and indeed the equipment that we need to operate. I wish to sincerely thank you, Your Excellency, for being with us, for enjoying this loud noise. The explosions are by no means easy ones. It's not the familiar terrain for Your Excellency and some of our invited guests, but I believe you've enjoyed your stay there. We're very much grateful. Our retired, very senior officers, former co-commanders, former commandants of Nigerian Army School of Infantry and the Nigerian Army School of Army, as well as other very retired officers from Armored Corps, especially our friend Brigadier M.K. Galadanchi, retired of the Artillery Corps. They've always supported us from the rear, but I believe they've done well, and they will continue to provide us that aerial support. Our next, that is the combat support training week, will be held in Lagos, to be organized by the Nigerian Army Engineers. We have a lot of innovations in that aspect also, and we will combine it with the Nigerian Army Day celebration coming up in July. So we look forward to another robust Army Day in conjunction with the Combat Support Arms Training Week. I want to thank all our invited guests once again, all the principal staff officers from the Army headquarters and the Defense headquarters, our co-commanders, our commandants, our directors, very senior officers, our retired colleagues who, despite their retirement, are supposed to be resting, but they still found time to be here. I know Major Emir Garba, former co-commander Armored Corps, is being with us all through. We want to most sincerely thank you. All other co-commanders that are here, I can see General Shongonuga, he's here with us, and all other senior officers that are here. We appreciate you. Please, whenever we invite you in our subsequent activities, we really appreciate and be glad to receive you. And please do honor such invitations. As we travel at the end of this occasion, I wish you journey mercies. Thank you and God bless.
The Chief of Army Staff, the #1 Army of Nigeria, just delivered his address in which he appreciated the onerous contribution of especially officers and men of the Nigerian Army towards making the Nigerian Army an institution of great pride to nationhood. He equally re-emphasized commitment to supporting the Nigerian Army in their many challenges of safeguarding the sanctity of Nigeria. The Chief of Army Staff, satisfied and grateful to all his field commanders who have been making the ultimate sacrifice to make the Nigerian Army the institution it should be in terms of pride to nationhood, in terms of guaranteeing the security of lives and property of Nigerians, in terms of reassuring the Nigerian of the capability of the Nigerian Army to always do the needful in the moment of challenges. General Tukul Yusuf Buratai. Next is the special guest of honor.
Commanders of various military operations, corps commanders, general officers commanding, commanders of Nigerian Army School, and senior military officers, both serving and retired, distinguished invited guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Chief of Army Staff, let me start by saying that even if we stayed longer, I'm enjoying every moment of what is happening here. I don't know which of the events to particularly make reference to, whether it is the snipers that didn't miss a single target or the women corps. I have enjoyed every moment being here. I'm highly delighted for the opportunity given me to grace this event as the special guest of honor on behalf of our governor, His Excellency Malam Nasir El-Rufai, who, as we speak, is engaged with other national and state matters. It is always a pleasure to be among members of the armed forces, especially the Nigerian Army. I may bold to say that the strength of any nation is in the ability of its military to protect its territorial integrity and support internal security as aptly captured in the 1999 Constitution as amended. To achieve this significant role, it has become a norm for fighting forces all over the world to constantly maintain combat readiness through periodic trainings in line with best practices. The Nigerian Army, as globally respected force, cannot afford to lag behind in battle preparedness or its personnel. The rise in security challenges across the country has made it imperative that the Nigerian Army come to the aid of civil authority. However, these security challenges in the country are dynamic in nature, involving the use of both kinetic and non-kinetic approaches, thus requiring multifaceted strategies to effectively overcome them. Therefore, in order to maintain combat readiness and battle preparedness, it is necessary for the Nigerian Army to constantly engage officers and men in training. The Nigerian Army and indeed other security agencies have made tremendous efforts in keeping our state, Kaduna State, safe and secure. On a larger scale, the Nigerian Army is in the forefront in combating terrorism, kidnappings, economic sabotage, and other civil disturbances in different parts of the country. I wish to reiterate that the collaborative efforts between the Nigerian Army and other security agencies in tackling the prevalent security threats across the state are highly commendable. We as a state, we as a government are indeed very, very grateful to the Nigerian military. Currently, the Nigerian Army is better positioned and capable to contain all forms of threats to the country from both within and outside its borders. It is worthy to commend Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammad Buhari, for providing the visionary leadership and logistics needed to transform the Nigerian Army. Let me also specially commend the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General T.Y. Buratai, for his efforts in maintaining high standards in the Nigerian Army through consistent training and support programs, such as the one witnessed today. This was evident as I drove through the cantonment and noticed the massive developments that have taken place since my last visit here. I'm equally highly impressed at the prototypes displayed by the Nigerian Army Vehicle Manufacturing Company. This shows that the Nigerian Army has really come of age. I dare to add that with a sustained commitment in this effort, as being exhibited by our current Chief of Army Staff, we can look forward to self-sufficiency in meeting with our needs, as against depending entirely on the importation of these military hardware, which will ordinarily cost the country many times more when this company fully takes off. On a final note, I wish to express my sincere appreciation to the Chief of Army Staff and indeed the entire Nigerian Army for the support they have been rendering to us and for helping in sustaining peace and stability in Kaduna State. Let me once more commend the Nigerian Army for organizing the Cat Week and indeed the firepower demonstration, which is key in building and developing the capacity of its personnel. Thank you and God bless.
Good day message. Special guest of honor. $1,500. With this, I want to call on Lieutenant Colonel T.J. Ajato, Commanding Officer, ably represented by the Deputy Governor, His Excellency, Architect Bala Yusuf Balarabe, Barnabas, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General T.Y. Buratai, very senior serving and retired military officers, permit me to stand on the existing protocol. I am Lieutenant Colonel T.G. Ajato, Commanding Officer, 211 Demonstration Battalion. First, I would like to thank God Almighty for making this day possible. As the saying goes, for everything that has a beginning must have an end. The firepower demonstration marks the climax of the Chief of Army Staff First Quarter Conference and Combat Arms Training Week 2019. During the demonstration, we have all witnessed the capabilities, effectiveness, and combat power of the combat arms, as well as the doggedness of the Nigerian Army Women Corps. Also, the innovations and initiative of the Nigerian Army Manufacturing Company was also displayed. Sir, the latter effects and brutality of this combined force have demonstrated what the infantry and armor can achieve in the battlefield with a good synergy. At this point, permit me to thank our special guest of honor and the good people of Kaduna State for their unwavering hospitality and support throughout this event. We pledge our absolute loyalty to the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, Grand Commander of the Federal Republic. We shall continue to uphold the Constitution in the defense of the territorial integrity of this great nation. The Chief of Army Staff, sir, your efforts in upgrading the equipment and training of the Nigerian Army for better performance in actualizing their vision, which is to have a responsive Nigerian Army in the discharge of its constitutional roles, have projected the Nigerian Army in a better light. Sir, the impacts you have made in the combat arms, and indeed the Nigerian Army in extension, has never been felt for over 2 decades. Please, a round of applause for the Chief of Army Staff. So we are indeed grateful for your support, which actualize the success of this great event. May I also thank the commanders of the combat arms and other commanders for their support and strategic guidance. On this note, I, on behalf of the participants of the Chief of Army Staff First Quarterly Conference and Combat Arms Training Week 2019, thank the special guest of honor for gracing this occasion despite his tight schedule. It is hoped that when next the Nigerian Army requires your assistance in a similar capacity, you oblige her. May I also thank everyone who have supported and witnessed this great event. A big thank you, and I wish you all journey mercy back to your various destinations. Thank you very much, and God bless.
All is well that ends well. On that note of demonstration of firepower, of demonstration of accomplishment, of demonstration of resilience and commitment in the defense of the territorial integrity of Nigeria by the Nigerian Army, and from we, the entire crew of the Nigerian Television Authority, from the Jaji Firing Squad of the Nigerian Army, that's all we have for you. Thanking you most sincerely for spending your eventful time with us. Enjoy the rest of our programs.